AAAs are always high quality, as I was stating before. Sometimes they mess up and the game isn't the best, but that's basically what AAA is.
Okay. Um, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk about specific video games because this is not what I where I want this type of interview to go. But
Right.
so, what do you think about the difference between, let's say, 3D video games like World of Warcraft, all the RPG or the MMOs, or I think most MMOs are MMORPG are 3D anyway.
Not
Versus
all. There's some like Maple Story, which is 2D, and I know there's a few others, but a good majority, if not most, of MMOs and MMORPGs are in the third dimension.
do you think these games are on their way out?
MMOs, no, they're a big addiction. Like they're like addicting phone games for the more for computers, for like big actual games that require time investment. It's something where there's always going to be people enjoying and playing those games because people want to spend hours on one game. There's a type of gamer that's like that, and there's always new MMOs coming out, and there's always people getting excited about them. So I don't think there's really going to be any. I don't think it's going out anytime soon. MMOs is still a pretty big scene.
Was a guy in the news that is reported to have been playing Fallout so much that he lost his wife and his job.
That's a problem.
I can
That's
see.
not.
Personally, I've played an MMORPG in 3D for 6 months, and it's the 3D effect is very appealing. It's very they try to make these games immersive, and it's you
Yeah.
want to get lost in there because it's you have more power than in real life, and there's a lot more to see than in real life. I remember thinking, wow, this game, even though it's limited in where I can go, and there's no airplanes, and there's a lot of things I can't buy in the game because it's although there are some things I could buy in the game that I cannot buy in real life. And I remember thinking, wow, this game is a lot more fun than real life. How is that possible? How is that possible? And at the same time, well, my real life is so shitty that this video game is more fun. Is more is more basically.
Yeah. Games are
But
a
you haven't played the MMORPGs that much.
no. I'm not a big MMO person. I have played them a little bit, but that was just to quench a thirst of. I feel like playing an MMO. Then I'd play it for a few hours and realize, oh wait, this isn't my game again.
This is what?
It's not my game. Like
Okay.
I would remind myself it's not my type of game after playing it for a few hours and be like,
But there's something there that
yeah,
some
I can.
people no, but some people can be so charmed by that kind of game, by one of those games, and you on the other end are like, no, not for me. So it's not the game that's charming. It's not the game. It's more the person that fits with the game.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can find thousands, if not millions, of people that are kind of made for World of Warcraft or or Elder Scrolls and that get hooked on it,
mm-hmm.
and some people will never get hooked on it, even if you let them play for free for months.
Yeah. It's a matter of yeah, it's a matter of, it's different between person and person, definitely. It's also a matter of people like to get enthralled by these games because it's like you stated before, it's not something you can do in real life, and it makes people feel like they're experiencing new things all the time, and it makes them, like you said earlier, more empowered. And some people really enjoy that feeling, like really enjoy that feeling, so they get really into RPGs and MMOs and combinations of those two. While people like me, sure, I'd enjoy getting feeling more powerful in a game, but that's not why I go into a game. So it's not really my cup of tea.
So what is it that makes you want to go into a game?
Uh, it's a matter of it's a matter of enjoyment and interest. It is the matter of like I said before, it's experiencing stuff you wouldn't get into your life. That's one of the reasons I do feel that, but I don't feel an MMO. For me, it's not a place that I get that feeling from because I don't feel any more empowered while doing it. So I don't. How to put this?
Do you feel empowered by some other games? Did you feel what did you feel? Oh, okay. Did
Well,
you
games don't make me feel more powerful than real life because I don't see games from a standpoint of. I see games more of a developer than an actual like player a lot of the time. So I'll go in and I'll be very critical about the game. So it's hard for me to get into a game and feel like I'm actually influencing things.
so what did you feel while playing Dark Souls?
Um, I
What do
thought
you
the gameplay mechanics, like I said before, I'm really interested in the way like mechanics work, and Dark Souls is just one of those games where I just fell in love with the mechanics. I fell in love with the combat. I fell in love with how the game worked in general, and how the game's designed and all that. It wasn't a matter of getting feeling empowered while like going through and like killing other players and killing bosses. Sure, it made me feel happy. It made me feel it made me feel like I was accomplished, but it didn't make me feel more powerful. It didn't make me feel like I was more powerful than I was in real life because of my viewpoint on games. It's kind of hard to describe, but
Well, the sense of power that I got from World of Warcraft was the gear. You start with a horse, then you get a flying mount, then you get better armor, better weapons, more spells. There's a ton of spells that World of Warcraft is just for combat. You need to have in your head. You need to have like 10, 15, 20 spells, and you need to know what they do and be ready
mhm.
to use them. Even if you're gonna use like 3 or 4 or 5 during most of the combat, you might need that that 15th spell for a special situation, and you have to be ready to get it. So, uh, and
Yeah.
having played Dark Souls 1 so far,
Hmm.
there's no emphasis on gear that much. You don't get a mount, you don't get to fly.
Nope.
So that to me is
And that's like we were saying before. Players. Some players feel empowered by different things. Like some people, like you said just now, enjoy it whenever they get more powerful. Whenever they get better gear, they get better like spells. They get better. They level up their stats, and they just start doing more damage to things, and it makes them feel more powerful. Then they're also able to take a leadership role in game. Say if they make a guild or a clan, and that makes people feel more empowered. Well, for me, it doesn't really because I see that and it makes me feel like my character's getting more powerful and I'm not. I'm not getting better at the game. My character is. But things like Dark Souls, where it's more of a matter of skill. Like, sure, yeah, World of Warcraft requires skill, I'm sure, but it's entirely based off of skill and not what you're wearing and your stats. Because you could still go into a fight with no armor on in Dark Souls and like very low stats and win if you know how to. It's just a matter of experience and skill, and I feel more empowered once I start getting good at those games using my skill. That's, I'd say, the only time that I feel empowered with games. If I do describe it as being empowered.
And recently, well, in the past few years, I've seen more and more an emphasis on or a direction towards the social aspect. It seems to me they're trying to build a social aspect in the game or connectivity or somehow. Or how much of that interests you or has caught your
A,
attention?
a social aspect in all games or specific games?
Well, there's always been in World of Warcraft. There's always been a
Right.
social aspect because there's a chat from the start. There was a general chat and a
Yeah.
local chat, a general chat, and a chat for selling stuff and shit,
Yeah. I see.
and guilds
Making
and
games more social is definitely a good thing, especially depending on the game, like MMOs and stuff. While those are already social, other things like other game, basically allowing chat and allowing you to create groups easier and meet up with people easier in game, like online, is a very good thing because it builds up community, it builds up the interest in the game in general, and a lot of people like to interact with others online. Like, that's their main reason for playing video games. There's a lot of people that play video games so that they can interact with other people or play with other people that they normally wouldn't be able to. And it's a very good thing that games are going the route of getting more and more social and integrating a lot more connectivity with other players.
I don't know if you've played Counter-Strike, but Counter-Strike Global Offensive, you s- the audio is built in the game. So you start the game and you can hear you can play like a 10 versus 10 version and a ranked 5 versus 5, but and you can hear all the other players automatically. They all have microphones and they're some of them are screaming, of course, but and
Yeah, and that's definitely something that's happening more often on PC. On console, it's been happening for like ages, where games like Call of Duty and Halo would have in-game mics where you could speak to your team. Normally, it'd be kind of annoying because the mics weren't that good, or like the connection. There'd be connection issues where people wouldn't be able to speak like very well and they'd cut off and stuff. But minus those problems, that's been a thing for a while. But on PC, more games are integrating chat into the actual game, which is a good way for new people to meet, and especially if it's a game that's strategy based like Counter Strike, it's very imperative to be able to talk to your team. So it's a very good thing that, like I said before, it's a good thing that games are becoming a bit more social.
do you care about that?
I tend not to actually talk while playing games. Like, I don't talk to random strangers. I tend to talk and play with friends that I already have. But if I was ever in the need to, I would be interested, and I would definitely use the chance because I have chatted with people before that I've never known and made new friends online.
And so would that feature like make you want to play a game you've never played before, or put you off from a game you wanted to play, or
Um, no, I mean, in very, very, very special cases, yes and no. But most of the time, it wouldn't make or break a game for me. Most because most games give the option to be able to completely ignore the social aspect, or you can be a part of it, so it doesn't really